Hi City Salvos family, I'm Captain Sarah and I'm the Court Officer of Adelaide Congress Hall, here to share you a bit of an update from this week and to get us prepared for what's going to come this coming Sunday as we hopefully gather together to worship in Perry Street there. But I have something to share first. I got to talk about God in my hospital spiritual care role this week. I shared on Sunday last week just how curious it is to go in as a spiritual care volunteer and to offer an empathetic ear and to listen, to help people talk, but not specifically be there to talk about Jesus. And I was sort of coping with the strangeness of that. But I actually got to talk about God with a lovely woman who was there, and we just shared how no matter what they're going through and the things that they'd been through, she has a strong faith and knows that she seeks God's will and she looks to Him no matter what comes of what's happening at the moment. She knows that because God's in it, that they will get through it and there'll be good to come from it. It was really lovely to be a part of that, and is also a good reminder for all of us as we're facing another week of unknown, of changing governmental restrictions, of the increase in cases in Victoria, and a growing sense of what's going to happen here. What's this limbo going on here? Are they going to change things? Are they going to lock our church down again? And the real concerns people have about what's going to happen. We can also remember that if we look to God, if we seek Him in this, so we look to His will and trust Him, we can know that no matter what, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and like Habakkuk, like the stories from the Bible, like a woman I met in hospital, and like I've seen in my own life, that if we trust God and seek Him in it, He can bring us through it. It's gonna be okay, no matter what. It's got to be okay if our church has to close its doors again, because the people are the church, not the building. It's going to be okay if things change in our health circumstances. It's going to be okay if I don't get to go to New Zealand in October as much as I really wanted to see my session mates and my family. It will still be okay because God's in it and He knows what He's doing. And I can trust that if I'm following His will and seeking Him in it, He's going to get me through and it's going to be okay. It's a very actually courageous and brave thing to say. It's not an easy just flip off the tongue thing, because to live it is another thing entirely. And we're encouraging us as a church to practice this in what we're doing, to trust Him, to seek Him. And we're also asking people to be brave, because if you were listening on Sunday, we also talked about trusting in God and realizing the Great Commission in our lives and the Great Commandment to love the Lord our God with all our hearts and all our minds and all our strength, and also love our neighbors as ourselves. But it's more than that, because we also have to introduce them to Jesus, because we are called by Him to make disciples, not just love from a distance, but actually get involved, to not wait for opportunities to share the gospel to come to us, but to create them and make the most of them out there. So I gave everybody homework. I asked you to think about somebody in your head, somebody in your life, somebody in your circumstances, to think on Sunday morning and to consider going and how are we going to share love with them? How are we going to share the gospel with them? What are we going to do to be more than just I love you, but I love you because Jesus loves you. I love you even more so because Jesus loves me. Let's talk about Him somehow. So were you brave this week? Did you share it somehow? It does get more comfortable with practice, I assure you. Yes, I am a professional apparently, and we are paid to do this. However, we're all called to go out into the world and make disciples. You can't just leave it up to us because, I don't know the people you know. And I'm really looking forward to hearing some of the stories as you come back this week on Sunday and share some of those. We've heard some already. We've heard beautiful moments of people going out for lunch and sharing little bits of the word, or sending a text message and getting a good response to that. So I'm really looking forward to see what God's going to do in and through our church through that. And I'm really excited to get us all together again this Sunday. Shane gives us some more advice and ways of how to do that, looking again as Jesus as that great example of one who showed us how to introduce others to God. He lived like us. He was one of us, and He showed us how to bring others into this great relationship with their Creator. And so I'm looking forward to this Sunday. I'm looking forward to catching up with you all, hopefully, unless things change with the government. Other than that, we can still worship Him together in spirit, online, and all those other things. But we don't need to fear, Because when we trust God and we look to Him, that no matter what happens with the government restrictions, we know that He will bring us through this, and He's got this. And He's God, and He loves us, and He knows what's best, and we just have to look to Him, and He will guide us. If we grab Him by the hand, He would guide us through. So if I don't see you on Sunday, I hope I do. We love you as a church, and we want to catch up with you. Write a comment, drop us a message, get in contact with our Facebook page or our website. We just want to continue to grow God's kingdom here in Adelaide. So until then, bless you each. Bye-bye.